I want to start by saying that I don't think that museums are meant to be a neutral space. I think that museums are meant to bring together pieces or artifacts or collections that cause us to think. Part of art criticism is being able to look at the biases, the cultural references that are happening around a piece of artwork and around an artist at the time that it was created. And if we're looking at those things, if we're looking at the societal pressures and what's happening and how that's changing art, if we're looking at the cultural references and the things that are happening in social circumstances, we're not always going to have things that are PG or that are politically correct. We're going to have art pieces that are controversial and that cause people to be upset or to have feelings about specific pieces of art. And I think it's important that the museums consider all of those things when they're thinking about taking in a piece of artwork, when they're thinking about housing it in their facility and displaying it for people to see. I think that it's important for them to consider those aspects of it, but it's also important that they bring together pieces that would cause people to think. So specifically thinking about the Emmett Till and the Dana Schutz piece, it's challenging. So I would say that what I think is that the piece of artwork that she created resonated for her because of being a mother. That's what her justification of creating this piece of artwork was. I don't think that that piece of artwork should have been displayed in the museum. And the reason for that is because of the cultural normities, because of just thinking about where we are as a culture and what we're going through right now, and separating those, that there is Black culture and there are African American people that have their specific way in their artwork and their horrifying things that are happening in society to them, and that it is not our place as white people to make light or to paint those sorts of things or to create artwork around those struggles. I think that if she had created that piece of artwork, perhaps in tandem with a Black artist, I think that that could have had a social impact that would have been really beautiful. But that just creating it on her own, that was not, it shouldn't have been displayed in the museum the way it was. And I love that, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I love that the man that went and stood in front of it and put himself between that piece of artwork and the viewers and created that. You have to, in order to look at this piece that was created by a white artist of a Black struggle, of something that happened to a Black person in the 1950s or 40s and 50s, in order to look at that piece of artwork, he put himself between the viewer and the piece of art, so that you have to understand, this is part of art criticism, that you have to understand the social filter, right? So in putting himself between the viewer and the piece of artwork, he put himself, created that filter of looking at it from a Black person's perspective, and I thought that was really beautiful. But kind of looping back, I think that it's important for museums to create a space where they can have some controversy in there in the art pieces that they're displaying and showing, but that looking at it from a perspective of, is it socially okay? Would there be a better place and time for this? I think that that's also really important.